When you are dismissed by an avoidant that you love, the rejection feels extra personal. That's because even if someone with a personality disorder loves you, they still have this way of amplifying your insecurities. They can act like, well, they've gotten to know you and they've decided they could use a little less of you. This attitude is cruel, and it triggers every insecurity you have ever had. It can even emotionally bring you back to that small place where maybe you grew up around people who made the decision to have you, but then acted like they were inconvenienced by your very existence. And as a result, you spend your entire existence chasing people who act like they don't like you, but they tolerate you, and barely. Because if you don't toe the line of their almighty boundaries, you're out, blocked, stonewalled, banished from the bedroom. And all the while you don't realize that this person isn't implementing healthy boundaries that facilitate a secure relationship. Instead, they're using ultimatums as weapons in disguise. And you can spot this by how much these so-called boundaries wear on you. You talk a little less, you wait to contact them until the right time, you start asking for less, you expect less, you shine less, and finally, you begin to believe that your needs are the problem. It's like they're the only person important enough to exist in the relationship, while you walk around in a mere flesh suit, and you're only there to serve their every whim and emotion. Meanwhile, you're in the background listening to manipulative videos telling you how sad and lonely avoidants are. Well, yeah, they are sad. And while they have more of a tolerance for being alone, they still, they're human. They don't like being lonely. And that's when they reach back out to stir things up again. Your empathy ignites, and you make yourself available to them one more time. But what are you getting out of this? I mean, is your relationship public? Have they made you social media official? Are they committing to you? Are they even sleeping with you anymore? And it can start to seem like they think of you only when they think of something that they want. But do you know what people like this actually want? Attention. They crave control in their relationships, but they want attention from you in the form of you always being accessible to them once they're finally ready to be civil. Even if they are crossing their arms and acting like you did something so stupid you don't deserve to live, they want you to check in on them. Even if they don't answer you back, they want to hear from you saying, hey, please, can you just talk to me? Can we work this out? How can I change for you so we can resume our relationship and finally make you happy? Spoiler alert, you will never be able to give enough or change enough to ever make people like this happy. Please understand, they were unhappy before they ever met you. The way they're treating you didn't come out of nowhere. They had problems long before you came around. And if you're ready to identify and protect yourself from avoidants who use boundaries as weapons, then grab that bottle of nail polish and let's talk. And if you're a member, head on over to the members only playlist. This morning, we're talking about why wild sex with the mysterious avoidant ain't all that it's cracked up to be. And both of these videos are going on right now. You know how you can tell someone is using boundaries as a weapon? These rules never apply to them. Oh no, these boundaries were purely created only for you, and it's such a double standard. For example, they will not tolerate yelling in their house, but they yell at everybody. Or if you say anything they don't like, they'll immediately hang up on you. Oh, but don't you dare walk away when they're talking to you. Yeah, avoidants can dish criticism, but they sure can't take it. So they set up a mode of protection for themselves, and they call it boundaries. And I'm using air quotes because these boundaries usually involve just impulsively blocking and then unblocking you depending on how they feel, or going no contact or stonewalling you when all you've done is bring up a point or an issue that you're having because you care about them and you care about the relationship. And how many boundaries do they hoist onto you, claiming that they have to do this because of something messed up their ex did in a previous relationship? These toxic boundaries are an accumulation of their trauma. But the fact that you're confused by them, the fact that you feel controlled by them, that traumatic response is yours. Only someone who has been manipulated by emotional abuse would be confused by this kind of behavior. And we do get confused, especially in the matters of love. And that's why I like to take confusing romantic scenarios and plug them into platonic relationship examples, so you can see that a lot of times the answer might not be easy. It's still a lot simpler than you think. Let's take the romance out of these boundaries for a second and look at it like a job. Imagine you have a boss who tells you, I have a boundary. I don't give raises. It's too much pressure for me. But that same boss calls you on your day off. They still expect you to answer the phone every time, to stay up late every night. They demand 110% of your energy. But the moment you ask about your benefits or your future security at the company, they shout, you're crossing my boundary. You're making me uncomfortable. Damn it, Jerry. You know I'm overwhelmed. I'm not going to keep talking to you if you keep bringing this up. This is your problem. Boom. Yeah. You'd quit, and you wouldn't even feel bad about it. You'd recognize immediately that there was something wrong with your boss, and you're not going to be taken advantage of anymore. No one wants to give and give and give with nothing in return. We all want something back, even if it's the warmth of appreciation. And that's not selfish. It's only more confusing in real life because right now your current boss has a smoking hot body. Well, welcome to the other half, where we know attraction is not just about looks. We also need to take care of the inner half, because it's important to know when the boss of your relationship wants the labor of your attention, your care, and your loyalty, but is only using the word boundary as a shield to avoid any responsibility for how they treat you. They're not protecting their peace. They're protecting their inner world, where it's totally all about what they want right now. There is nothing wrong with being a sucker for love. But what this person is doing to you doesn't meet any classic definition of love. And maybe they haven't had anyone in their life show them what that is. And while yes, this is sad, you still can't allow them to exploit your empathetic heart so they can dance around in an unrealistic world where the rules don't apply to them and consequences don't exist. And the cherry on top, they're calling all the shots. And the fact that you two found each other and connected probably means that neither one of you has had an easy life, because I believe we meet people somewhere around the same vibrational level. But these one-sided relationships are only possible when someone who leans avoidant finds someone else who's wobbly on their boundaries. And this is why making a list of boundaries is important before you go out and find anyone else and just let them into your life. Because you get to know the behavior that you can live with before you get too invested. And then it becomes simple. For example, I used to have a roommate who would slam things around his room and yell and curse whenever he was losing an online game. Now, I've known this guy for years, and we're still friends. And boundaries aren't about judging whether someone is a good or bad person. I don't think he's a bad person, but I do know that he would be a bad partner for me, because I don't want to live with someone who yells and screams and slams. Nothing against him personally, but it's too triggering for me. It strikes fear into me. Even though he's upset at a game and there's no real danger, I would still end up towing the line in that relationship. Or at minimum, the yelling and the loud noises, I would become extremely emotionally dysregulated every time I heard a slam fest across the house. And because we were renters at the same house, I never knew this about him until I lived with him. And that's why getting to know someone slowly is so important. And I know you might feel stuck right now, but you get to choose what happens next. And if you need help breaking a toxic pattern with someone who's currently in your life, go on over to my playlist. I have a no contact encouragement series just for you. But you know, these people aren't the only ones who get to set boundaries. Serve your partner, treat them well, men and women. In our own ways, we deal with so much that we we never get credit for. And there's nothing wrong with appreciating or admiring someone, but don't become the put upon butler. You will never win their love or respect. Well, you won't win that from anyone this way. And the next time they ice you out, you might want to use that time to actually reevaluate whether or not you still feel like they're a prize to win. Now, this channel is based on my personal experience, and I'm only one person. So if you have an experience that you would like to share, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel, because every Friday we get together and we paint our nails or our Warhammer miniatures, and we talk about lessons we wish we learned when we were younger. And if when you were younger, you were discouraged from having boundaries, and if you tried to implement one, there was huge consequences, just be mentally prepared that the first time you finally begin to stand up for yourself, there is a chance that it's going to sound more aggressive than you mean for it to be. And this is only because your needs have been suppressed for so long. It's just like anything else that you aren't used to. It takes practice. Expressing yourself does not have to be loud or aggressive. You have the right to your sovereignty. And someone who loves you for you, they want you to be different from them. They want you to be who you are. They're not threatened by it. They love you. Not because you become good at following rules designed to crush your personality and your spirit. You have a loving spirit that's capable of being attuned to another person and to yourself at the same time. You're not their butler, their maid, or their blow-up doll. You're their partner. You have every right to exist in this relationship as an equal. And if you want to know why, if an avoidant can't handle that, it's too bad for them, I'll put that video right here so you can ditch these relationships where you feel like you have to suppress your needs until you are purple or green in the face. These colors are dedicated to my good friend Benjamin. My name is Maria Adriana. You did not have to live my life, but I certainly hope you can learn something from it. As always, thank you for visiting. The other half.